Roy Taylor. So, in my role as corporate vice president of alliances at AMD, I'm approached very often by groups that want us to sponsor them and give them money to put together events and do different projects. And of course, we can't possibly support them all. But when one day I got a call telling me that I should talk to Cosmo, and I met him, I was blown away by his enthusiasm and by his energy. And when I met the rest of the team, I was even more impressed. And it's a thrill for me to be here, to have watched what they've done with this event and how it's grown is really, really incredible. And we absolutely intend to continue to support you guys. And one day have an event like this with 50,000 people. So I'm thrilled. And AMD really, really believes in VR. I'm going to present you some facts and some figures and some numbers during this presentation, because as excited as we all are about VR, many of us in this room need to go away and raise funding. And I refer to the fact that only a sixth of those projects are funded so far. And even if you work in a corporation, you need to go back to your boss, I know I do, and say, I believe that this project will work because. So in order to get these numbers together, I realized that no matter what numbers we come up with, we're going to be wrong. But I thought if we could share being wrong, then it wouldn't just be me by myself. So at the E3 event recently here in Los Angeles, we got together 74 of the great and the good of everybody around in the industry and had what we called the inaugural VR Council. So we have representatives from academia, from USC, we had Ted Schilitz from 20th Century Fox, we have representatives from Dell and HP, Lenovo, and we also had some studios. We had Reload Games were there, and we tackled what we figured was some of the thorniest issues for us to be able to go away and get projects funded and to take all of the things we want to do and make them real. So we came up with some conclusions, some things that we agreed upon. The first is that VR is falling today into two categories, what we call static VR and interactive VR. And the two categories are worthy of support and investment in their own right, but should be recognized as such. We also took a stab at the numbers, and these are the numbers that the 74 people of the council agree with. That by 2018, there'll be approximately 30 million VR headsets in Western Europe and North America. And they'll be made up of approximately 15 million mobile, like Samsung Gear, 10 million console, of course that means PlayStation, and 5 million PC. We also took a stab at looking at how VR will emerge as in not just gaming. And it's clear to us there's going to be a number of categories. I'm going to talk about those a little bit more in detail in a moment. But of those three different kinds of headsets, we think that VR is going to need to be scalable. So when you're making the VR, it's going to be important for it to scale from a headset all the way up to a high resolution PC configuration. But before we get to that, I want to remind everybody that the road to success is going to be a little bit bumpy. Back in 1995, this is a famous quote from Bill Gates when he sent out a memo to all of the employees in the company, telling them that the future was going to be the internet. And we know what's happened. In fact, the internet has, since its foundation, added more than 3.4% to the world's GDP, trillions of dollars. And I believe that VR is going to do that. But it's important to realize that there's going to be probably some big changes. In the early days of the internet, the default search engine was not Google. I mean, many of you in here will be maybe too young to know that, but it was actually something called Alta Vista. And Alta Vista was going to be, the big thing on the internet. It was sold for $2.4 billion, but then sadly it went away, and we know what happened with Google. That $2.4 billion was eventually sold for $140 million, and then finally closed in 2010. And then of course along came Google. Now why am I mentioning this? Because along the way, VR is going to have an Alta Vista, something's going to fail, it's going to seem like it's going to be the answer, and then it's not. But ultimately, the next Google is out there, probably in this room. One of you guys, or a couple of you guys, may even be the next Larry or Sergey. So we shouldn't, and the reason I'm mentioning that is because